everybody about that resolution, which will be pulled tonight. So we will pull that. I'm going to pull that resolution in hopes that we'll have time to make sure that everybody's properly educated and understanding what this is. There's been some misnomers been sent out through Facebook and emails and videos of how this is not necessarily the best program for everybody. Certainly, I wouldn't promote something like that, and certainly would not want that to happen to anybody. We owe that to everybody. What has been presented is a plan that is better than what you currently have. It currently saves payments that you would have made from deductibles, etc. They would go away, so there's definitely cost savings to all the retirees. And just as important to taxpayers that live in the city, it's about $1.5 million savings for us if everybody lists. Now, again, money isn't everything, so I'm not going to run in this position, and none of us are going to run this position in trying to take away from our hardworking current employees or the hardworking retirees, which you are. So by any means, this is not that case. I implore you to give it a chance, to give it some educational points, make sure you understand it. I know some of you have addressed, and maybe you're not here, but some of you have addressed the Office of the Aging and brought those plans to the Office of the Aging. And I know that they told you that this is a better plan than what you have and what it is. Yesterday I met with the CSCA union, and CSCA members were wrong several years ago in their deductibles. Whether it was I don't know the history behind it, but they were not taken care of on their deductibles. So they're currently, as of now, these retirees are submitting their deductibles to us quarterly, and we're paying them back, reimbursing them for their deductibles. So in hindsight, to try to fix that, part of the negotiations that I put forth here with the company was to create a plan just for them so that they don't have to do that anymore. They simply show their card and the deductibles are the proper way they're supposed to be. So that is also fixed in this design. This is a win-win for everybody. I know insurance becomes very complicated and concerning, and I get it 100%. This is an attempt to get it out there and to get everybody educated on it. I did not receive any phone calls, but I know my colleagues have received numerous phone calls, but I would like to, the CSEA currently has it. They're reviewing it from their professional staff, and they assured me that if it is what we say it is, they will stand up in front of here and endorse it with their CSCA employees. It's done in the past that the SEIU has adopted what they have said as well. So at that point, when they do their independent research, I get the written research back from the Office of the Aging to share with all the retirees as well as the unions. I will make sure that everybody's rest assured that they're going to be done. Some of the concerns that the Office of the Aging said that they couldn't address was concerns that what's the future mayor going to do? What's the future council going to do? Well, that is uncertain. That I can't assert, but I can assert that this is a better plan than what you currently have now, and it will be beneficial to us, to all the taxpayers, us as taxpayers in the city of Cortland, and to the retirees. So I wouldn't promote that and do that, but it's very important that, and also I also want to note that you have the right to opt out. This is nothing mandatory. You can opt out. But I don't want you to opt out without reviewing it because I think you could see the benefits I wouldn't present. So I'm asking you to take the time to understand it, to do it. So this is the first step in making everybody aware of it. Now the next step will be an educational process that I hope to have everybody send an email through so they have your contact information. We'll get back through the consortium of what we have for contacts, make sure everybody's educated, put together the time to do that. Typically, we would sign it, get a contract done, and that's part of their responsibility, but recognizing the concern that everybody has, we don't want to dismiss that, don't want to ignore that. So we will pull that resolution, and definitely helps to make it happen again in the future.
Mayor Steve, might you have a Zoom meeting where people could do question and answers?
That would be available as well. We'll put that together. So we'll make it, as we do, we'll try to make it available for people in Florida because this is not going to impact them. They'll still have the benefits and use of it. There's much misinformation that's gone out there about this, and I don't feel like responding to Facebook and going through all that. So I feel it professional to maintain what we have and give you the honest answers and the direct answers, and use the Office of the Aging, which is what they're there for, is to protect our people of our county and do what's best for them. So we will present it to them, and they have no interest. You are going to find that there's other municipalities because this is really what it is. It is a benefit to everybody, and it is what it is. You're going to find many people, many municipalities going to this, and other businesses, agencies. Cornell has done it. There's other municipalities that will do it and follow through with it. And as county taxpayers, encouraging them to do the same, which I'm estimating about $5 million there. So we really need to look at this and just look at it objectively with an open mind. That's all I can ask. So with that, I'll open up the public comments, but I just want to clarify that approach most. So if you had public comments on that, you will have another opportunity. You will have that ability. We will not take that away from you. I make myself fully accessible in every way I can, one-on-one. There's 100 people that are affected by this. It's 40 individuals and 58 families, so just under that. And it's $1.457 million in the city savings, let alone all the deductibles. So with that, yes.
We talked earlier, we're going to hopefully have a workshop somewhere that the people that can come, we'll have people there to present the thing so you all understand. I'll be the first one wanting this shot down right now because I don't understand it. I'm not going to vote for something I don't understand. So we all got a lot of education to have here. So believe me, we all understand, and that's where we're headed with this. So I think it's handled correctly. Pulling off the agenda. We'll educate you people, and then we'll go from there. So, but you just mentioned you have the right to opt out. So.
Okay, so with that said, back to the meeting, the privilege of the floor. I'm going to get your name wrong, Rick. Rick McMullen? Is that it? I'm sorry, I couldn't read it. Looked like Z. Sorry, Rick. I didn't recognize it.
So I appreciate the opportunity to speak. My name is Richard McMullen. I'm a retired detective lieutenant from the city police. I served in that capacity for 21 and a half years for the police department, retiring in 2000. When I retired, I received a contractually guaranteed benefit of paid-up health insurance for life. That was as a result of my non-use of accrued sick time over the life of my 21 and a half year career. When I retired, I opted for the family plan, and the contract also guaranteed the insurance would be maintained by the city at a level that would be as good or better than the benefits I received at the time of retirement. I understand the council is considering changing the plan to an Advantage Plus plan for those of us who receive Medicare, me being one of them. Everything I read about the Advantage Plus plan does not actually work out to the positive for the retiree. The research that I've done has many parts of the Advantage plan that are undesirable for myself and my family and would not actually work out to the benefit and it would not be as good or better as what we were guaranteed at the time of our retirement. I want to stress the fact that this benefit was not a benefit that was given to me by the city. This was a benefit that was earned by me after over many years of accrued sick time, 2,714 hours at the time of my retirement that I had on the books as a result of not using sick time for all those years. I appreciate the fact that you pulled it off the agenda tonight, Mr. Mayor. I think that we're putting a cart in front of the horse by doing it in this fashion, making a resolution. I did not see any opt-out language in that resolution that was made. It looked to me like it was being voted on and it passed. That would be the law. I, for one, object to that, and many retirees that I've been in contact with do as well. You mentioned Facebook and some of the comments that were being made. Understand that our retirees are spread out all over the country, and we communicate very much through Facebook because it's easy. So comments, be they positive or negative, nothing was directed at anybody in particular. It's just discussion for the benefit of our group and to find out what's going on and keep everybody informed. I appreciate you taking the time to consider the emails that I sent to everybody. I hope you all got them and read them. And this is basically what I'm reading from now. And I know that there's others in the group that would like to speak as well. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Chief Nichols.
This is our minute.
I'm here. My name is Jim Nichols. I worked for the city of Cortland Police Department for 40 years and 6 days. I started on the bottom, rose to the position of chief of police that I served in roughly 13 years. I've been retired for 13 years. Preparing to retire after such a long time in this building certainly brought great angst to my life. Wasn't sure quite what to do, but one of the things I did not have to contemplate that I would not have quality health insurance that I had enjoyed for 40 years. The younger people probably don't know this, but a lot of reasons that us older folks joined the civil service ranks of a community back in the day because we were guaranteed health insurance and a pension. The salaries were nothing to brag about. I'm here tonight to talk to you. I actually represent 2 of our retired members that are dealing with very serious health problems. And they've asked me to just, it's going to take a minute, to read what they wrote to me. This particular officer, Emmett Lane, served the city with honor, retired at the appropriate time, diligently worked for us, did an outstanding job, and saved his sick time. In fact, I believe the last 2 years he never took vacation to build up his sick time because under the program we had to accumulate a certain number of days to have paid up health. In my case, I needed to accumulate 300 days in order to have paid up health, which meant the city would pay the maximum, and I would pay the percentage that I retired at. So that's what we're talking about here. The individuals within the city of Cortland that gave up time off, maybe took a holiday instead of calling it sick, to build up that sick time. When you think about it, you multiply these 100 people that we're talking about that are under Medicare that had to have between 250 and 300 sick days. Think of that number. How many days were saved by city employees in the city of Cortland because these people diligently came to work. They did not abuse the benefit. And when we retired, we were guaranteed we would keep this tremendous benefit. Bear with me. I'd like to read what Emmett Lane's wife, Karen, wrote about their situation. My husband has been sick for quite a long time. We went to many doctors and had much testing done by various people in the state of Florida as well as New York. Whenever we went to a new doctor, they asked for our insurance. We had never once been told we were out of network or we had to see someone else. Finally, last February, the diagnosis was ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, Timmy Green's disease. There's no cure for this. Many procedures and medicines later, my husband is
Living.
Finally, as I said, he was diagnosed in February. Many procedures and medicines later, my husband is living out the best that he can. The one constant and the one thing we didn't have to worry about was our health care. We brought long-term care to protect our assets, and we have the best secondary medical coverage paid through the rest of our lives. Emmett took only one vacation in the last several years of his retirement to make sure his accruals were where they need to be in order to receive this lifelong benefit for himself and me. He was always a dedicated employee and didn't miss much time anyway. We would be what is it?
Devastated.
Yes, that's it.
Yes, if we have to have our benefits reduced in any way. I am so thankful for having medical coverage as I am witnessing the hardships of my friends who are entangled with having to make decisions about medical necessity based on their insurance coverage. It is an absolute nightmare. Equal to or better is the term in the contract, and this plan is not that. That's based upon what they're reading on the internet. Please consider all the dedication of your past employees, Emmett Lane being one of them. There's also a message I have here from another police officer, Kathy Barnes. She retired several years ago as a detective sergeant. She has been battling cancer for some time now. She's had to travel to upstate, back and forth to Rochester. Right now, she's in upstate, dealing with a bypass on her leg. Recently, she was flown to Rochester because of medication caused heart problems. Again, our insurance saves the day. Personally, a few years ago, I was diagnosed with a pituitary tumor. It took 1.5 years to figure out what was wrong. Throughout that process, my insurance covered multiple CAT scans, MRIs, colonoscopies, you name it, I had it. Finally, it was diagnosed as a tumor in the pituitary, back and forth to Rochester, where eventually they did operate and remove the tumor. That's why I'm standing here today. Again, I never had to worry about my insurance. And that's what this is all about. The guarantees made in this room over my 40 years that we would protect not only all our city workers with quality insurance, but those individuals that stick it out and retire from this city, that they would have insurance the rest of their lives. I appreciate the time here tonight. I look forward to hearing about this suggestion you